Hi guys, welcome back to AFTV News Daily. I'm here with Robbie. I'm back.
You're back, man.
Have you missed me?
You're back.
Thank you.
Man, missed you, man. Missed you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
How was it, Italy?
It was all right, yeah.
Out there celebrating with you?
Nah, not
coming
so much.
Rome. You know what I mean? Out there,
It's coming Rome.
Out there with your Italian mates.
It was all right.
Having a laugh at our expense. Yeah?
Well, I could enjoy it a bit more out there
Come
than
out
I
like
could.
some mafiosis. Black hat, black top.
Do you know what? No, this is. Do you know? Never mind. This is like a bad hair day, so I just thought I'll whack the hat on. But how you doing?
No, good, man. Good.
Yeah. Arsenal have been keeping us entertained.
Very entertained. Whilst you was over there, any news on Lautaro Martinez?
Do you know what? Actually, seriously, my cousins are massive Inter Milan fans.
Yeah.
So they had really good insight on it. And basically, the reason Conte left, they sold Hakimi and everything, is because Inter Milan are broke. They need to kind of recuperate money. They kind of went into debt to fund the Conte project. And the kind of story is that Lautaro Martinez is kind of the guy they'd be willing to move on to, you know, keep Lukaku. They were even some of them were even hoping Lautaro Martinez would move on over Hakimi because they loved him over there. So there's something in that. They'll kind of tease me saying there's no way he'd come to Arsenal, and I kind of agree with that. But I don't know.
Listen, money.
Money talks. That's what I kept
talks.
saying to them. He's on 80 grand a week or something there, and
It's less than that.
Even less than that. Well, there you go. And they were saying that's the big story at the moment, is that, you know, they're not paying him what he's worth in kind of, you know, European footballing terms. So, yeah, actually, you know, that wasn't something we planned to talk about. But but a good question, because
on it, right? I heard it was like sort of talk that with Lautaro Martinez is that, you know, they were supposed to open negotiations about sorting out his new contract. And they just can't at the moment. They just ain't got the money. I
even read rumours that his agent has really good relations with Arsenal. And don't ask me that, I don't know what that's based on, but read it here and there.
Well, a new agent, I know that.
Right?
He changed his agent.
Oh, okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I think this is an interesting one to follow, and actually we'll touch on it a little bit later, because that's one of the topics of today. Is Stan Kroenke giving Arteta 100 million to spend? Now, people are probably looking at this thinking, you guys are going absolutely mental. There's no chance that, you know, Stan Kroenke suddenly decided, especially after, what are we, two months into the window? And, you know, let's face it, the business has been, okay, Ben White, fair play.
Hold on, man. He's just... What? 50 million on Ben White.
No, I'll give him that. That's a good deal. That's a good deal.
50 million on Ben White.
It's a good outlay.
17 million on Lokonga, and what? 8 million on Tavares.
Yeah.
So he's outlaid a fair bit already.
Yeah. No. He has.
And ain't really sold nobody to recoup that yet. You know what I mean? So.
No. I'll give Stan credit there. I guess, you know, 100 million on top of that's a lot, is what I'm saying. And Arsenal over the years have done this thing where they'll do a Pepe and you think, oh wow, we're finally showing ambition, and then they stop short of that and almost go, well look, we gave you Pepe, we gave you Aubameyang, and now we gave you White. I don't know. So I'm always worried. About whether they're going to go the whole hog and get it all done. But that's what we're going to talk about today. And where this has kind of come from is, I mean, forget all the news reports about the money Arsenal had to spend there in the window and the big clear out and everything. What's really striking me is how many really reputable journalists as well are coming out and saying Arsenal want Tammy Abraham for 30 million. They want James Maddison for 70 million. They're looking at Martin Odegaard, who could be 35 million. They're looking at Lautaro Martinez for another, 65, 70 million. It feels to me like there's a good 100 million there for a number 10 and a striker, if maybe a Lacazette can be shipped on, or Arteta can negotiate the right deal. But the amount of rumours out there and the people it's coming from makes me think that there is still quite a lot of money there for Arteta to play for.
Plus as well, we need a goalkeeper. And there's been talk about the goalkeeping situation.
Yeah.
It's very interesting because, listen, the Lautaro Martinez, how did you pronounce it? Lautaro.
I went for Lautaro. I don't know why. Yeah, Lautaro.
You're Italian, so I'll go what you're saying.
Yeah, well, he's Argentinian.
All right, well, he's Argentinian.
Maybe.
Very similar.
Yeah.
Because Argentinians always got very close links with Italy. Yeah. But in the case of Martinez, right, this is not it's not an idle rumour. There is something in this. Arsenal, they have made that inquiry. You know, how much would you take for him, right? And you know, they know it's going to be very expensive because he's a top quality player and he's still very young, just come off of a good Copa America in which they won it. Messi was bigging him up.
Yeah, massively.
Had a great season last season and the season before. So they know that a player like that's going to cost a lot of money. They know that Odegaard is going to cost a lot of money. They know that the links with Maddison, which there's been something in that as well. There's been no denial coming out of Leicester flat saying, listen, this is ridiculous. We've had no contact at all from Arsenal, right? They know that that's going to be expensive. So even if it's one more of those, they're looking to do a very expensive. That does suggest that money has been put on the table by Stan Kroenke this summer, because he's already done 50, 67, nearly 70 odd million pound already.
Yeah, no.
So
no, you're right.
in a pandemic year, so.
I'll give them that. So are we saying, and obviously we've got to see what happens between now and the end of the window, but are we saying that if Arsenal go into the Brentford game, or at least go into the season unprepared, that's more on Edu and Arteta and how they've spent the money rather than necessarily Stan Kroenke's backing of the team? Because as you said, we spent about 80 million already, 75, 80 million. You know, that can sort out a lot of positions, actually, 70, 80 million. And it feels like we're still a long way from sorting any of them, really, when you think about it. Obviously, centre-back became a necessity because William Saliba moved on. But so you feel that the backing is there this summer so far?
Listen, I'm not gonna go out on a limb and say that they're fully backing him, because I hear what you were saying earlier. I hear you on that, and that's happens a lot. That we fall short of what we have to do. One thing I would do, in my experiences of doing transfer dailies and the transfer market, is there are some deals, the big ones, they're difficult to get done.
They are.
Can't just get those done sometimes early. Maddison, if that gets done, will be late in the window. Yeah. Because there's still, Leicester are going to want absolutely the most money they can get. Yeah. They're going to want to line up a replacement before they sell him. I mean, there's lots of things. Odegaard thing, remember, he went back. He's supposed to be part of the Real Madrid setup. They've taken him back. They said, yes, you're part of it. It's going to take Real Madrid now to come out and say, well, actually, he's definitely for sale. Yeah. We're hearing rumours that he might be for sale. We're hearing rumours, actually, that Real Madrid are saying everybody's for sale if the money's there, right? But, it's not as straightforward as that. So these deals are difficult to get sorted out before the actual season starts. I'd love to be able to see Arsenal get at least one of these done before the start of the new season. But even if it was, done, some of these are done before, the end of August when the window closes. If we get what we need, I'll be happy. I mean, remember as well, we've got a lot of players that we have to get rid of. I know. A lot of players. You saw a lot of them playing yesterday. Kolasinac, Bellerin, Ainsley Maitland-Niles is probably going to go. Eddie Nketiah, we don't know what's happening with him. Yeah. What's happening with, are we going to keep El Neni? Yeah. Well, we know we're keeping Xhaka, right? But so
do you think that means we're not getting another central midfielder in? If
I do believe that. Yeah, I think we bought Sambi Lokonga. I now, so I'm slightly disappointed with that whole thing, because, to be honest, right, I wanted to see us go out there and get somebody like a Bissouma, Renato Sanchez, somebody like that. It's not going to happen now if they're keeping Xhaka, because you've got Xhaka, Partey, you've still got El Neni there as well, remember, and now you've got Sambi Lokonga, right? And we haven't got European football. So to me, I reckon El Neni might go now, and it'll be those three: Xhaka, Partey, Sambi Lokonga. That's what I think. And
you've still got players like Torreira, Willock, who I'd almost...
Torreira's another player we've got to move on.
We've got to move him on, but then I also don't think there's a bad player in there. I think the main reason people want him to move on is because he just keeps telling us he doesn't want to be here.
Well, listen, if somebody don't want to be here, see you later.
No, absolutely, but then someone also has got to cough up the money. It's a fascinating situation. So, I don't know, guys, let us know in the comment section. Do you think there's another 100 million for Arteta to spend? Listen, 100 million, that's a pretty solid figure that we're putting up. But what we're really saying is there still a big kitty there for Arteta?
I think there is. I think there is. Kroenke could surprise us this year, you know. Christian G says, afternoon, guys. What do you guys think of Edson Alvarez from Ajax? He plays for Mexico. Don't know a lot about him, to be honest.
Centre-back, I think. Yeah. Oh, well, we don't need another centre-back. If that's the guy talking about, then we wouldn't need him.
Bushify says 100 million more, I hope.
Yeah, more.
Right.
That's the idea.
Chris King says 100 million. Max Aarons, Sander Berg, Odegaard and Martinez. Oh, you wouldn't get all of that for 100 million, I'll tell you.
Imagine that.
Got
a super chat from Hadi says, if you had 80 million euros to buy a player from Inter Milan, would you spend it on Martinez or would you have gone for Hakimi? Bless. Says, welcome back, James, and big up Don Robbie.
Yeah, but Hakimi's it's not worth asking because he's gone.
Yeah, Lautaro Martinez feels like where it's kind of like one in a million signings. You know, like Ozil was. You get that kind of once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, they're not happy there. Barcelona and Real Madrid can't afford them.
Barcelona wanted him last year.
Yeah, desperately. You could get this done, and you think, wow, okay, maybe this is one of those where I don't want to just say money talks because I'd like to think Lautaro Martinez would have more than just money reasons to play for Arsenal, but. That's the reason City got big at first was the money. They got Adebayor from us and they got big players because they said, look at the money behind us, look at the project we're trying to build. I don't know, would you like him at Arsenal? Do you think we need
100%. Lautaro Martinez would excite me.
Yeah.
When we say, the famous words of Josh Kroenke, get excited. I would be excited if I see Lautaro Martinez, Odegaard.
Yeah.
Right, I'm starting to get excited. I'm starting to see it's still not complete. There's still more, but I'm starting to see a great team being put together. Yeah, because that is a top quality player, and that's what. If we're going to get back to being on top, we need top quality. So I would love to see him. If we bring in him and then we was able to say you move on a Lacazette, I'm not against that at all. That you are bringing in a top quality player to replace Lacazette. The Tammy Abrahams thing on the other hand, I know he scored yesterday.
Heavily linked with us again today.
Heavily linked with us. Good player. Is he way better than... I'd rather hang on for a Lautaro Martinez, you know what I mean?
I would too.
Because you buy Tammy Abrahams, that's it. The Lautaro Martinez, forget that. That's going to be our big money striker that we've bought for the next few years. Yeah, that's how you have to consider it. Yeah. Whoever we're buying, this is it. We're buying that player for the next couple years. Yeah. So let's get the one that really.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
More super chats coming in here. AT Football says mixed bag yesterday. Young players impress. Willett, Eddie, Emil Smith-Rowe. Experienced players keep making errors. Yeah. Also, Xhaka coming on before Sambi confused me. Well, he did come on and score a goal. So it was what a bad decision, was it? Andy also says get that liar Kroenke out before he sells Saka and Smith-Rowe to Manchester United in the future, so he can help the Glazers win titles like previous managers Van Persie and Alexis Sanchez. So Lautaro Martinez reminds you a bit like an Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's got that kind of low centre of gravity, kind of nippy, difficult to be. Yeah, listen, I would love him.
Lautaro Martinez and Gabriel Martinelli. Yeah, these. I'm starting. That's what I'm starting to say. The future of Arsenal. Smith-Rowe, Saka, Ben White. Yeah. Then I'm starting to say, and then as well, you're buying a player that if he then comes in and kills it at Arsenal, and we did have to end up, I don't want to be a selling club, but let's just say Barcelona in a few years came in, they got to come with some ridiculous money or he's staying put. Yeah. Whereas we've had all these players that, look at Torreira, we can't sell him.
Yeah, it's true. I couldn't agree more. Another super chat from Victor says we should get Harry Kane after not turning up to training. Martinez wants Champions League. He will not come to Arsenal with no European football. Imagine getting Harry Kane. We're going to chat about the Harry Kane stuff in a bit, actually. Another super chat from Ganapathy says Chelsea are bidding for Lukaku, so no Martinez for us.
No, but Lukaku's already said he's not leaving.
Yeah, he has, to be fair.
Right, and remember, we're looking at a situation where Inter Milan need money. Under normal circumstances, we would have asked them about Martinez, they would have put the phone down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eddie would have said, ooh. You know what I mean? Or whatever the ringtone is over there in Italy, you'd be able to tell me better, right?
Pretty similar.
The phone would be down, right? They'd be like, on the other end, they'd be going, remember I did this before? They'd be like, what is he doing? This guy Edu.
Why am I always on
If he rings me again, he sleeps with the fishes, man. You know what I mean? What kind of ridiculous... Why are you ringing us about Lautaro Martinez? Are you mad? Is this guy dumb?
You're getting more Italian by the day.
I know, I'm going to get... The Italian guys are going to kill me, man. Right? But... Big up Gianni, by the way, right? But... Right? But... I'm telling you, there's something in it this time because money talks. I know this thing about... Where I fear it is like, if, like you heard the rumour this morning, like an Atletico Madrid are interested, then you have to fear because obviously they can offer him European football. They've got a great team. Their manager's Argentinian. But if Arsenal can get in quick and offer this guy, you know what I mean, they could effectively double his wages.
Yeah, more.
And then he might be looking at it and thinking, you know, if I go to Arsenal, look what Alexis did there. Look what, you know what I mean? All right, Arsenal are not the club that we were, but great players have still played for Arsenal. You'll still look at it and he might look at it and say, boy, you know what?
Yeah.
So I don't discount it completely, and I would love that deal to happen.
Yeah,
that would be a great, exciting thing.
Henry, the super chat says we need a right back. Bellerin, if he stays in Chambers, will not be a stable right side. Or if Arteta wants to play a back three. A super chat from Airborne says Nordi Mukiele from Leipzig for right back. Yeah, he's a good player. Tool has pace. Bring in Guimaraes since Partey may be out. Loan Balogun. Keep Eddie and get Martinez. Wow, imagine all that business.
Simon says replace Guendouzi with Lokonga, but who's replaced Ceballos? Surely we need to buy another midfielder, including Maddison or Odegaard. Well,
That's a good point.
On the Ceballos thing, I'll be keeping Willock.
Yeah, actually.
Unless are they going to cash in on Willock? That's the thing.
I thought Willock looked bright when he came on.
Looked very good. He scored a goal, didn't he?
Actually, yeah,
which weren't given.
He scored. He scored.
Peanut Guna says, with KSE, do fans still make the same mistake thinking we're a bigger club than what we really are? We're too spoilt under Wenger's first 10 years. We are a big club. Stop this than what we think we are. The problem is that we don't realise that we're actually a bigger club than what we think.
Yeah.
We are a big club. We're the third biggest club in this country. One of the biggest clubs in the world, right? So they need to, you know, we should be linked with Lautaro Martinez.
I agree.
We should be linked with Maddison. This should be standard for Arsenal.
And also, we had a great history before Arsene Wenger. You know, Arsene Wenger is, the greatest manager in our history. But, you know, we had a great history before him as well. He didn't make Arsenal Football Club. He might have made the Emirates Stadium, but he didn't make Arsenal Football Club. So yeah, I've just got some breaking news actually that Tottenham are going to fine Harry Kane for missing training.
It's all started. It's all started. Expressions, you're out there.
Do you know what?
It's started, man.
I was just trying to chat about also Arsenal, but it keeps popping up and everyone keeps talking about it. We've got another super chat from Shreth says we need Premier League proven players, not Maverick signings such as Lautaro Martinez and Odegaard. We need to raid teams like Leeds for players. Please don't compare Alexis to Lautaro Martinez. I think that's unfair.
Listen, hold on. Listen, what Maverick players? Odegaard came in. I thought he did very well.
I thought he did very well.
As I said, these are the type of players we should be linked to. It shouldn't be the only players we're getting, but these are the type of profile of players that Arsenal Football Club should be going for.
Yeah,
we should be demanding these type of players at Arsenal. It's not. I know football's not just about going out and getting a load of superstar players. That doesn't fix everything, but you need quality.
Yeah.
Look at Chelsea's squad yesterday. You know, it's an unbelievable squad. So, if you're going to compete with those teams, you know that's what we need.
Yeah, I completely
that's
agree.
what we need. But by the way, on that, there were 5 things that I noted that I learnt from that game yesterday.
Right, let's go through them.
And, I thought I had them. Here they are. Right. 5 things that I learnt from the game yesterday. I don't know if you're going to agree with me on some of these, right?
Yeah.
Number 1, Ben White
looks
class.
Yeah. I thought he did look class. I mean, not trying to go in on him, but especially after the first half Rob Holding put out. I mean,
Jesus Christ, man.
And by the way, anyone's going to get on my back. I did the Transfer Daily Extra and I compared White and Holding, and I said, let's give Holding a lot of credit because statistically he keeps up, if not betters him in a lot of areas. So let's give Holding some credit, just generally as a player. But yesterday he was shocking.
Shocking. And
absolutely appalling.
We were playing this very high line.
Yeah.
And he was so slow. And then I couldn't understand the tactics actually playing that really high line because, all right, I know. So actually, no, forget that. It's a friendly. He's trying out things. Maybe Arteta. Let's put it in that context.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
No.
Right, because he got absolutely roasted, and the amount of times we were caught like 3-on-1 and that. But when Ben White came on in the second half, there were still errors in that.
Oh, yeah.
But not from him. He looked comfortable on the ball. He was a lot quicker than Holding. He looked a lot sharper. Remember, that's his first pre-season. Holding's played about 4. So Rob Holding, it worried me, man. It worried me how poor he was.
And also, another thing on Holding is the high line was a problem. But actually, if you look at the goal we conceded, that wasn't like Holding's got a high line. He's been done for pace. He's in the final third.
Yeah,
that's
shocking.
Just. I mean, I can't imagine Arteta looking at it and going, unlucky, good positioning. If you'd won the ball, that'd have been fine. He was miles away from it. I got to say,
it was dreadful.
That was one of those. You go into a game, it's just pre-season. I just want to enjoy it, and then you watch it and you go, wow, I can't say, well, it's just pre-season. You need to have ironed those mistakes out at the edge of 15.
But Ben White, who probably will start hopefully against Brentford. I like the look of him. He looked comfortable.
Yeah.
He looked class. He looked classy. I liked him. Obviously, we don't get carried away. He's,
some good blocks in there.
45 minutes is a great block, but like the look of Ben White.
Yeah.
Second thing I learned.
Go on.
We're still dreadful at playing the ball out from the back. Right. I saw that. What was Leno doing for that one where he just played it straight at? I think it was
Xhaka. I think it was. Yeah. Got pressed. Yeah.
Dreadful. Right. Then there was El Neni one time. He received the ball at the back, got caught in possession. How Chelsea didn't score from that, I don't know. That was dreadful. Then there was just a catalogue of again, it was still too slow out of the back. It was terrible. Got to improve that.
Whose fault is that, do you think? And the reason I ask is I've seen Arsenal score some great goals from playing out the back under Arteta. So is it the players aren't good enough to do it? Or is it Arteta trying to force something that doesn't come naturally to these players?
I think he's trying to force something because a lot of times the ball was being played, for instance, to El Neni, who seemed to be playing like a centre-back.
Yeah,
in that first half, right?
Yeah, he was.
And he was just, I don't know, he's just getting caught. That's 2 games in a row that he's won. One game cost us a goal. We were lucky to get away with it in yesterday's game. The playing out from the back, and then Leno was still taking too long to play the ball out. His distribution still weren't good enough.
Yeah.
The playing out from the back was worrying, and that was the second thing that I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
Third thing, all right, let me go with a positive. Thomas Partey, how good does he look? He is vital to Arsenal this season. I don't know the extent of the injury yet.
Well, worth checking in on because the kind of initial...
let me see if there's any news on it.
We quoted Dr. Rajpal on Twitter, who said that kind of injury can normally lead to about 4 to 6 weeks out when you look at the twist of the ankle and stuff. But there were photos taken of him out in London yesterday, just casually walking around, sort of, loving life. I think he was out at a nightclub. Yeah, well, I think he was. I think he was out for a few drinks or doing whatever, having a good time.
Hopefully he'll be all right.
But it looks like it's minor, and actually I think the fact that he got up and tried to play on suggests that he probably just said to Arteta, look, I'm all right, but it's not worth it, and that might have been the assessment. If I'm to venture a guess, I think he'll be probably fine for Brentford, but I think fine for Chelsea in 3 weeks' time.
He's looked excellent all pre-season.
Yeah, he has.
And this guy, right, is going to be, he's going to be so important for Arsenal this season.
Just get him a proper partner, Robbie. Not you, but
Well, it's Xhaka now, isn't it? Because he's definitely staying.
Do you think? Do you think that's it? Do you think that's it?
Mikel Arteta said Xhaka is not going anywhere.
You don't think it's some tactic?
No, I can. Do you want me to give you the quote?
If you want. Right? If you want.
Mikel Arteta said Granit Xhaka, or he said Granit is going to stay with us. He's a key member of our squad.
It's great negotiation from
He's
Arteta.
not leaving.
It's
And, you know.
See,
What's that?
He's got you fooled like he's got Roma fooled.
What's the film?
It's brilliant. What film?
Oh, what's it again? Oh,
What?
when he goes, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street, yeah. Wolf of Wall Street, man. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving.
I think you're missing an F word in there, but yeah. But,
I'm not effing leaving. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere, man. So, I don't know.
except instead of a round of applause, a big old roar after, it's everyone going.
See, the thing is about it, right,
really
is that
not.
on the one hand, listen, we don't want it. It was 14 million, but we're Roma. They're just kind of trying to get him on the
They're
cheap.
mugging us off, yeah.
Yeah, so,
absolutely they
you
were.
know, but
This is my issue. And I tweeted about this. I don't actually have a problem with Xhaka staying. That's not my problem. I do think there are redeemable qualities to Xhaka. I think there are things that you need out of a player like Xhaka. However, it's more that in 4 or 5 years he's not lifted our midfield. In fact, if anything, it's got worse. And I'm just ready for a change.
Yep.
And I just want a Locatelli or a Basuma or someone fresh, young, different, someone you know.
he's not leaving.
Well, I know he's not, but
He's
someone
not effing leaving.
He's
Sorry.
Jack has proven to be so
Looks like the
exposable
Locatelli thing's
over the-
dead.
Yeah, I think it is. Should we take some super chats because I'm getting wound
Do a
up?
couple of super chats, and I'm going to give you some of the other things that I noticed yesterday.
Oh, yeah,
I've given
there are,
you.
yeah.
I've given you what, 3?
Yeah, you have. So Josh says, everyone knows Maddison is not an elite midfielder. Listen to what the pundits say about him. He started on the bench in 8 Premier League games last year, and only one of those was after his injury. Wow.
No, I rate
I
him.
disagree. I think he's
I
quality.
rate
Shreth says Lautaro Martinez is nowhere near Pepe's stats at Lille. Pepe took ages and Arteta can't improve players. Lautaro Martinez and Odegaard will take time to settle, not worth it.
I don't think Odegaard would take a long time to settle. He's already been here.
Yeah, I agree. AT Football says, big up Robbie and James, thank you. All your great content allows us international fans to feel so much more connected to the club. Tuning in from Australia at 3 a.m. Wow, thank you.
Brilliant. That's great. And do you know
That's
what?
what we wanna hear.
Just to let you guys know, right, we're going to be starting a new feature on AFTV where you guys can get to come on live. Wherever you are around the world, you're going to be able to, you know, come on with some of your comments. So look out for that. We'll give you more details of that on the weekend. Psalm 51 says, even if Xhaka stays, he should not be a starter.
That's my stance on it. If you want to keep him, you love him, Arteta, fine. But
He's starting Sambi Lokonga then.
I'm spending 50 million on new midfielders. What I'm
Yeah,
doing.
well,
I'm getting Basuma. That's what I'm doing because
they're not
because
going to keep
Partey's
him and get Basuma, are they?
No, they're not. Unfortunately,
I just don't see
not.
it. Going back to the things that I learned, I've given you 3. Let me give you the other 2. I'm going to give you. I'm sorry, they're not quite positive. Bellerin's time is up. I mean,
we've known
what
that,
a horrific mistake in the game. He didn't look like he was concentrating in the game. He didn't look. I don't know. He didn't look interested. Even when he came off the pitch, right? I was quite near just above where the tunnel is. Normally Hector Bellerin's a guy, I don't know, maybe it was affected him, the fact that he made that mistake. Normally he's a guy who comes off, always acknowledges the fans, everything.
Always.
He just walked off. All right, maybe he might have been upset with the horrific mistake he made, but I think it's time to, you know, he could be part of the Lautaro Martinez deal, although they're saying they want money only, but there is talk that, you know, Inter Milan want him on loan.
Yeah.
Arsenal may be willing to make him go on loan only if it's a big loan fee with some sort of option to buy at the end of it. But he didn't look like his heart was in it yesterday. I know it's only a friendly. I saw a player there that needs to leave and go and do something else, and we need to move on from him.
I couldn't agree more. And actually, you're spot on about the whole. Bellerin's always been one to acknowledge the fans. He always goes for a little walk around the pitch and claps.
Yeah.
At least, you know, it's been a while since we've all been in the Emirates. But
Especially when you consider that.
yeah, and you know, clearly Chambers is his first choice right back right now. And then there's reports that Cedric's come back in great shape and Arteta's really impressed and wants to give him the
He looked
chance.
great, didn't play. So.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. There you go. So it's all mind-boggling. But I completely agree with you. I saw the Bellerin error, and I have to say I couldn't blame Bellerin, and the reason I can't blame him is
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I couldn't blame Bellerin. because we know he's got that in him. Like, why is Arteta giving
You're not going to blame him because you know he's got that in.
Why is Arteta giving him the game time? Or Maitland-Niles a right back. I see that happen, and I think the one thing Bellerin was always good at was getting him beyond, right? Was sort of breaking the lines with his runs. He was quite fast. He got in behind. He's never been really a comfortable ball player. And all we've ever asked him to do under Arteta is be that comfortable kind of inverted right back coming inside and almost being like a deep line creator or whatever. But he can't do that. And the more he gets asked to do that, and the more he kind of lets us down sometimes, you know, I'm sort of beyond the point of getting angry at him for it. I really am, and that's kind of how I feel. Even almost with Granit Xhaka. If Xhaka makes a mistake this year, I'll go, well, of course he has.
Well,
but you know what I mean?
I hear you on that.
I'm not. And by the way, I'm not trying to really belittle these players. Or Bellerin has other strengths that don't suit what Arteta asks him to do. Xhaka, I think, maybe suits playing slightly higher up the pitch. But you keep asking them to do things that they've proven time and time again that they make mistakes doing in those roles. I'm sort of beyond the point of going, well, you know, I've got to blame him. It's I'm sort of past it.
Gift32 says, every season you guys call for a clear out and demand the club spends. The club spends and the results always the same. Definite insanity. There's more to analysing what's wrong in the club beyond yelling to spend. Well, that's all we can do, really. There have been problems, but try and spend wisely. It's not just about going out there and spending millions and millions. Spend wisely, spend on quality, spend on what we need. And Jetinder Sharma, says, do you think yesterday Chelsea were playing more aggressive, like they were playing a Premier League or Champions League match? Also, there were rough challenges. Partey injury was because of a rough challenge. It was. Well, it's a friendly, and you know, all right. It doesn't mean they need to. It's Chelsea, and then they want to win the game, even though it's a friendly. So
I couldn't agree with you
we
more.
Should be the same. Joshua said, would any of our signings get into the starting 11 of the top 4? No chance. Puts it into perspective exactly where we are. Nowhere near. I don't agree with that. There are players that, if they're on their, on form, they would get in there. Tierney, Partey, there are players there. Andy also says, do you guys think Xhaka staying and be a permanent starter is coming from the Kroenkes? I think he was bought for more than football reasons. I think it's an Arteta thing. I really do.
Yeah,
I think he loves him. And Brandon AFC TV says, same faces, so expect the same result. 8th place, finishing pending. 2 very angry emojis. The 5th thing that I learned,
Go on.
and this is very worrying, this 5th thing.
I know your 5th thing. Go on.
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is on a horrible run of form that needs to be sorted out ASAP, or we're in big trouble, right? Because I'm telling you, again yesterday, that header that he missed was... listen, I would have got that. I'm telling you, I would have rose like a salmon. Didn't even need to rise like a salmon. Just need to get your head on it. He should have scored that. Then when he was clean through, well, actually, that's a bit harsh. He wasn't clean through. He was being chased down by a defender, but we've seen him score those. Mm-hmm. He's just not on form at the moment. He needs a goal so badly. It's not looking good at the moment for Aubameyang. He's not scored any goals in pre-season, and he's had at least 5-6 gilt-edged chances. Not looking good.
I think that's a worrying thing. It's not even like... I think a lot of the excuses for Aubameyang not excuses, valid reasons last season were that we didn't have Smith Rowe and Odegaard at the start of last season, so we didn't have natural creativity in the team. The team wasn't creating a lot of chances, so you can understand. I think actually one of the positives from pre-season has been that Arsenal are creating chances in pre-season. We look a bit sharper and a bit more like we've got a bit more cutting edge in the final third. So what's been worrying is actually what he's been doing when he's been getting into those areas. Now, one thing I noticed from the Chelsea game, there were a few great runs he made, by the way, where he peeled off the left and came inside, and Partey slipped him in, or Xhaka slipped him in, or whoever. What worried him was kind of the productivity when he got into those areas. He strikes me as a player who right now, finishing and doing what he does in the final third, used to come so naturally and instinctively to him. He looks to me like he's overthinking, like he doesn't... he doesn't back himself in the same way, and that's such a shame.
Lack of confidence.
Lack of confidence. He was clearly always a confidence player. You see the mask thing, the kind of the way he carries himself, and I love that. I love that about his personality. But the minute he kind of maybe loses that, you wonder whether maybe he loses his.
That mask might be to hide if he don't start ducking his eyes up. Seriously, he's looking terrible at the moment. Victor Lang says, I think Thomas Partey injury could be like the Maguire injury. I think he will be out until October. How do you know? God. He was out last night. You hear what James said, right? Xhaka and El Neni in the midfield. Oh my God, El Neni as well. I'm sorry, time's up.
Yeah,
in my opinion. Don Barker says, how come White was the lone centre back at the end of the game yesterday? Do you see Arteta playing a back three with White at the centre? Yeah, Kolasinac was playing as a centre back. He was horrific.
I thought he was awful, Kolasinac, when he came on as well.
He was terrible. And Josh says, Josh Sashar, Man United fan, I can see by his avatar, says, hi Robbie, what are your top 4 predictions as of now? As of now?
Arsenal won't make it.
Arsenal not in it as of now. Depends what signings we make, but as of now, I'm going City, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. We're not in it. We need to. I mean, Josh Harper says, Robbie, I said that any of our new signings would get into. No, he said. I said, would any of our new signings get into the top 4 starting 11s? Not for me. Maybe Ben White. I think he would.
I think Ben White would.
I think he would.
TTM Pred says, I remember you saying, James, that Kolasinac wasn't as bad as people made him out to be. I did say that.
When did you say that?
And he's
when you come back from the pub?
He's since got worse.
You've been drinking a lot of that red wine when when he was over in Italy.
I think
you know the big glasses.
Here we go.
The big glasses, innit? Vino, innit?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Vino. He was up on the old Vino, innit? Not as bad as we think.
No. Now,
come on,
things out of context. Well, no, it wasn't out of context. That's actually exactly what I said. But I think. Do you know what? Never mind. I can't bother.
Don't try and back it.
Don't
try and back it.
Forget it.
Joshua Harper says, Robbie.
I'll take the L on that.
Oh, yeah, I've already done that. Yeah, take the L on that one. Don't try and back it.
We've got one from K-Lank says, just got to the stream. Who reported this £100 million transfer budget? Or is it clickbait? Love the videos, mate. Thank you. No, it's not clickbait. We've been linked with a striker worth 30 million, another striker worth 70 million, a midfielder worth 35 million, another midfielder worth 75 million. From very reputable journals. We're here to talk about it. There's clearly 100 million there for Arteta. Go spend it. No, but I mean, look, Arsenal won't be.
They're breaking upstairs up there.
Yeah, there's work's going on.
It's a workman going on upstairs. Big up the workman upstairs, by the way.
These journalists and people wouldn't be talking about Arsenal being interested in these players. Arsenal wouldn't be looking to sign these players if there wasn't money to spend. So, that's why we put a question mark on the end of it.
Josh Laurie out, he says, Josh.
Oh,
I
was going to add.
Castora says, where the F is Torreira?
Yeah, no, I don't even know. I wanted to see him in pre-season a bit, but I've got no idea.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, really, really weird situation, I've got to say. I was going to add a 6th thing to the things we learned.
Okay.
That I think Eddie Nketiah is looking really bright on the left.
He's looked very good.
Yeah,
very sharp.
Really bright.
Very sharp.
I've been cooked on Twitter for that opinion today, but
no. Listen. You can't just criticise a player when he's playing bad and not want to give him any.
Thank you.
Give him any plaudits when he's playing well. Last couple of games, he's looked very sharp. All the games in pre-season, Eddie Nketiah has looked very sharp. The first couple of games, the finishing was poor, but since then, I think he's looked all right. I thought Willett looked good as well.
I am. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I suggested.
Well, I already know that because you said Kolasinac, right?
I suggested that maybe on current form, Nketiah starts on the left right now
instead of Aubameyang.
Look, and my reasoning is Willian's not starting. Saka's not available, we don't think. Martinelli's definitely not available. Obviously, Odegaard's not there, so Smith Rowe has to play as the 10. So it's kind of a shootout between Aubameyang and Nketiah, maybe Balogun. And I don't think Aubameyang looks half as sharp as Nketiah does right now.
Doesn't, but I'd still play Aubameyang.
I know, I understand why. Yeah. But it's an interesting one, because I don't think this is a case of... Some people were saying, oh, what? So Nketiah looks a little bit better. No, I don't. I think Nketiah is genuinely, in his own right, looked very good in pre-season.
No,
I'm not just saying, oh, Nketiah's looked all right for what I've seen of Nketiah. So no,
he's been
on his own
you're
merit.
right. He's done all right.
So I thought worth exploring.
Yeah, he's had
that.
a good pre-season.
Shall we touch on?
Let me do a couple. We'll get a couple of super chats out. There's loads of them coming in. Thank you very much for these, and all the other comments that have come in. Andy also says Arsenal is a big club but not elite. We have fans arguing about Xhaka and Bellerin. When Xhaka was linked to Liverpool, their fans in Twitter were mad. Right? Shreshev says Aubameyang has got complacent. It's Ozil all over again. Mr. Non-negotiable can't make him perform. Also, he's always played better down the middle. He should do that. I think he has played him down the middle in this pre-season as well.
Yes, yeah.
Team says Elneny and Bellerin should not stay till now. If Arteta wants to keep them, I will not trust him anymore. Well, he's already done a U-turn on Xhaka. Yeah. It would not surprise. I think with the Bellerin thing, he really wants to leave. As I said, he looked like someone yesterday who just wants to leave. And Bradley Walker says, how many chances does Aubameyang have before he's gone?
I think he's earned credit in the bank and he's earned our patience. But I think people just saying, don't worry about him. It's just poor form, blah, blah, blah. I think I'm being a little
it's time to worry. It's time to worry.
Yeah.
He's not scored
I think
in
it's time
pre-season
to worry,
and he's had a lot of chances and he had a bad season last year.
Yeah.
He has got to pick it up.
Yeah.
Don also says, I agree with James. Would start Nketiah instead of Aubameyang. Shivang says, Aubameyang has become so frustrating to watch. I'd rather put Martinelli up front. For me, better on the left. Or Lacquer if he stays and drop him. You guys cut him too much slack. Again, he's earned a lot of that slack. We've got to be real. And Cash Money 430 says, I wouldn't play Aubameyang just to get his confidence up. Big Gunner D says Aubameyang ain't done. So dividing opinion on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. I think it's time to worry. That doesn't mean I'm ruling him out and saying that's it. He's finished. No, he could.
I'm worried, man. I'm worried. It's serious. When I saw him miss that header yesterday, I'm like, come on, Aubameyang, man.
Yeah,
that was a simple finish.
Especially
You've
when
got to worry.
Nketiah's got himself a couple goals in pre-season. Lacazette's got himself a couple goals.
Yeah,
and the chances have fallen to Aubameyang more than anyone else. So you can't even say, well, the team's not quite at it. As I said, I think one of the positives from pre-season, Arteta and Arsenal look more like they've got more cutting edge in the final third. The chances have come to Aubameyang. He's not taken them. Do I think he can turn around? 100% he could turn it around. But it's been a long time now. There were moments last year. There was the goal at Burnley, the goal at Newcastle. There were nice moments and goals where you thought, that's Aubameyang, the clinical finisher we know. But yeah, it's a bit too far.
Listen, if he can find his form in time for the Brentford game, or he finds his form in the Brentford game, that's perfect.
Yeah.
We need him. Peanut Gunner says, Robbie, if nothing changes from last season, including no transfers, KSE stay, does this warrant fans boycotting matches this season? Well, they have made signings. Ben White, 50 million, as I say, Zambi Lokonga. They spent. So let's see what they're going to do from now till the end of the window.
Yeah.
And Wayne Sage says, Arsenal fans are amazing. Cry that we don't sell well. We always get underpaid for our players. Now the club isn't accepting rubbish. It's why we aren't. It's why we selling Xhaka.
I think
it's why we aren't selling Xhaka.
I think the point
anything.
is, we sort of try penny pinch when we can, and then we're just not. He basically just said, just move Xhaka on.
Yep. And Martes says, Robbie. No, I think he's saying well done for not selling Xhaka for peanuts. I think is what he's saying.
Oh, fair enough.
Martes says, Robbie, I remember your interviews from years ago. People were angry because we couldn't get past Bayern, etc. Now we worry we might lose against Brentford because they got Tony. The bar is dropping. It's dropped, bro. It's dropped.
Oh, you're definitely right about that Wayne thing. I completely misunderstood. Yeah. But he makes a good point. He does make a good point.
AT Football says positively, Partey, Sambi, and even Xhaka found incisive forward passes yesterday. 2 midfielders, 1 cam to complement Emile Smith-Rowe, I thought was excellent yesterday. 1 DM is a positive window. I don't think we're going to get that. I don't think we ain't going to get all that, unfortunately. AS says, guys, what signings would universally make the fan base optimistic going into the new season? It's all doom and gloom at the moment. I'm not completely doom and gloom. I want to see what else we do. Get Lautaro Martinez, get Odegaard. I'll perk up. Right, Shane says, what would you think about sending Aubameyang and Bellerin to Inter for Martinez and selling El Neni, Xhaka, Kolasinac, Willian to fund Basuma and Navas, PSG goalkeeper? Well, that'd be probably a decent bit of business. That'd be superb. Petio says Aubameyang has turned into Ozil. He's even streaming Fortnite now. Right. Sunny Saint says it's a good start, but we're nowhere near finished. Because of the pandemic, it will be hard selling players. Props on bringing in younger players and not the olds. Zamir says James is a pair of headphones away from being as deluded as Ty. And Madishar says, when Arsenal had Aubameyang and Laka were up front, we were doing good. After we changed to 1 up front, it's not working. Do you think if we don't invest in a striker and buy a big midfielder, it will be good? I mean, they both played up front yesterday at the start of that game, but you was going to go into. Sorry, I've just gone through like loads.
No, big up everyone.
Respect for that, man. You was going to make another point.
Well, I thought we could end on some good news, which is that lot down the road are having a bit of a...
Harry Kane hasn't turned up for training, man.
Oh, we know what that feels
hasn't
like,
turned up for training. He started. You know what I mean? I said to Expressions the other day, man, I go, he might just throw his toys out the pram and say, I want to leave. And him not turning up for training, I mean... Massive. That's significant, isn't it?
I thought he'd be staying. I really thought...
If they get Grealish, though, Man City... I wonder where we go though. You think they'll buy both Grealish and the season's over?
No. I think.
Oh my God!
I think originally I thought Kane was going to stay at Spurs, and now I think City. They've been so quiet in this window. I think they're basically on a 2-man mission. Grealish and Kane. That's it. Just get it. League wrapped up. Champions League.
And you know what? And you look on it. You look on it, James, right? And you say to yourself, yeah, but. Where are they going to spend that amount? We all know they've got the money, but it's not only the fact that they've got the money, they've got players to sell that they can offset a lot of that money as well. They can sell a Bernardo Silva.
We should be looking at. But we should.
They could even possibly look at maybe a Raheem Sterling, Mahrez. You know, I mean, they've got players. Gabriel Jesus, they've got players that they could offload that would offset a lot of that. That is the importance of buying well in the transfer market. If you buy a youngish player and you spent a lot of money to what I'm talking about with Lautaro Martinez and they do well, even if you want to upgrade again, you've got a player who's worth a lot to sell, which is the thing that we've suffered badly from over the years. And City, whilst they spend a lot of money, they also earn a lot of money. You know, think of some of the players sold, Leroy Sané and people like this. They've got a lot of money in from them. So, wow, Harry Kane not turning up for training.
And look, we're not just talking about it to troll Spurs and have a laugh, although it is quite funny. But these are our rivals. We've got to look at what our rivals are doing, and we want to be. We want to be ahead of Spurs, but we want to be doing what Spurs were doing a couple of years ago with Harry Kane, which was getting into the top 4. They got to the Champions League final. You know, we want to claw ourselves. They've dropped significantly away from that now. But it's important to look at what the clubs we want to be competing with, and then your Man United who have signed Varane and Sancho, looking at what they're doing. And I think this Kane thing is really significant because what's the knock-on effect? You don't a player like Grealish and Kane don't move for that money, and there's just no knock-on effect on the rest of the league. I'm sorry. I think that's the kind of thing where you might see some big moves out of City, as you've touched on. What does it mean for Spurs? Who are they going to bring in?
That's why I was saying earlier. You can't rush sometimes the transfer market,
right?
Because later on in that transfer market, some of these unexpected players become available. So let's just say those moves did happen, and Bernardo Silva and Mahrez and maybe who else could become available that Arsenal might think, wow, we could get him.
Yeah.
So that's why.
No, you're right.
You can't just. I've heard Turkish say that a couple of times and disagreed with him when he's saying we should have everything in before the season starts. I don't always agree with that. I think you should have some of your main, and that's obviously their main guy, there's Ben White.
Yeah.
But some of the others, you've got to sometimes be a bit patient and see what's happening. He might be able to pick off somebody, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like this one. It's M. Gill. He says, how are you? I just got off Junction 10. Junction 10 on the M6. He said, Harry Kane went past me in his Lamborghini heading towards Manchester with his brother. Nero says, with Super Chat, he says, if Kane goes to City, it's bad for Arsenal. I want Arsenal to compete with Man City, not Burnley. It's bad for the old league, I'll tell you. Harry Kane and Grealish.
Yeah, it's wrapped up, isn't it? Super Chat from Naira says, if Kane goes to City... Oh, sorry, you read this one. I completely agree with you. That's the point where when you're looking at weaknesses in your I say rivals, I wish Arsenal were real rivals to Man City, but we want to be rivals to City. And the big thing was, they didn't have a striker, so actually, if you kind of kept them pegged back enough, you kind of felt you could... Look at what Chelsea did in the Champions League final. But now you're thinking, Harry Kane, what, second best striker in the world?
Jaden there says, I think he might be a Tottenham fan. He says, Harry Kane has a Range Rover, not a Lamborghini. And also this one, Robin Antonson says, did you see that Kedo Taylor-Hart signed a new contract, which he was...
We were going to touch on that, yeah.
Yep. But just back on the Harry Kane thing, what if it's not Man City? What if it's...
Well, where else could he go?
What if it's Man United?
Well, then, I've got to say, they're title
What if it's Chelsea?
Then I think they're title winners.
Could be Chelsea as well. I mean...
It could be.
He would piss
off... Would
Spurs
sell to Chelsea?
Yeah, they wouldn't want to sell to Chelsea, but money talks, man.
Yeah, does it talk to Daniel Levy? That I mean, I think Daniel Levy... Listen, he drives a hard bargain, but he's a very principled man. Let me put it this way: if Arsenal came in and offered, would he rather sell to Arsenal for 200 million or City for 150 million? That's...
Daniel Levy likes money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he hates Arsenal.
Does he? Well, he hates Arsenal, yes, obviously, but money talks, man.
Maybe
50 million more.
Let me put it this way: Man City and Chelsea haven't really shown their hand in this transfer window yet. Obviously, Arsenal have done a bit. United.
Well, hold on, wait a minute. No, but there was a reported bid for Kane.
Yeah.
Even though they were saying that bid didn't actually, but
No, okay, fine. I guess what I mean is they've still not. Obviously, there's talk about Koundé potentially. I think Chelsea have signed a backup keeper. They've not really done a lot, and actually, on the back of winning the Champions League for Chelsea, on the back of City just missing out, they're two clubs that I'm watching and thinking, what are they going to pull out? I think they could each make a pretty extraordinary signing this summer.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Haaland to Chelsea, a Kane to City, obviously there's Grealish. I don't know, but I'm watching those two and thinking they're going to come out with something in a bit because it's all gone a little too quiet over there.
Could be Man United as well, man. It
could be.
It wouldn't shock me if it was Man United, right? And
imagine that.
But yeah, it's that's why we, that Lautaro Martinez thing. I'm saying, and then you know what as well. Again, when we're looking about knock-on effects, there has been talk that, and obviously, if they sell Kane, they're going to need a replacement, and they'd have money to get a Lautaro Martinez. So again, if we were thinking of getting a player like that,
don't do that to me.
No, but this is what money. This is the whole merry-go-round of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because they'd be able to afford Lautaro Martinez. They'd have Harry Kane's on big wages at Tottenham.
Yeah.
So that would be gone. They get a huge transfer fee. They could bring in Lautaro Martinez for much less wages. and it might kind of appease their fans a bit. Obviously, you're not going to be able to replace Harry Kane, but you know.
No, true. Hassan says we need Aarons, Onana, Aouar, Maddison, and Martinez, but we'll end up with Ramsdale, Hop. I've seen us linked to this Hop, but I don't know anything about him. And Guimaraes. I quite like Guimaraes, to be fair. Yeah, interesting. I think we've got some super chats. Let's take them. Mahesh says, just look at the top 4. Every year they spend hundreds of millions. Realistically, how long will it take us to match them? And can we ever win the league again? Listen, I think football's one of those funny sports where I'm going to state the absolute bleeding obvious now. Every season, every team starts with 0 points. So you can have those moments where sometimes the team just clicks, or the right manager and a couple of players, and boom, it just kind of happens. At Liverpool, for a long time, people were saying, I'm not saying it's going to happen to Arsenal, but look what happened to Liverpool. They were kind of miles off, and then suddenly, bam, 99 points.
Yeah. I think it's about, you've got to get that, assemble that team.
Yeah.
You need quality. Liverpool, they assembled a team of quality. They spent a lot of money on a world-class defender, world-class goalkeeper, and they've got world-class. Maybe weren't brought in as world-class when they came in, but they've made great signings in Mane and Salah, and then it's all sort of gelled. That's what I'm saying. I think with Arsenal, when I look at Arsenal, there's some quality players there. I look throughout that team. Kieran Tierney, I think quality will get better. Same with Partey. I think, you know, Aubameyang, if he can get back on form, is a top quality player. Pepe, you know, there's a lot of potential there, but there's some vital components that need sorting. All right, Ben White's coming now as well, but it just needs to add to the overall quality of the team. Gabriel's a quality player as well, so just add to the overall quality of the team. You're not going to win the league with Mohamed El Neni in playing in as your holding midfielder. I'm sorry. Jatender says, if Arsenal want to be in the top 4, we need to get players like Renato Sanchez, Maddison, Odegaard, Bruno Guimaraes. Also, if you look at Tammy Abraham, we don't have a striker of his ability. We lose a lot of second balls due to the same. So
yeah, I always wonder whether he's a bit overrated in terms of his hold-up play. Tammy Abraham, but he's a good poacher and finisher.
Took his goal well yesterday. I would have scored that, to be fair.
80 Football Super Chat says, what makes it a successful season this year? Top 6, top 4?
Top 4.
Top 4 does. Top 6, I think,
nope,
is not... You can never call it a successful season, but you can maybe say that realistically with the teams we've got, that's the best Arsenal could hope for. But I don't know, I'm with you. I still think there's quality in this team, and it's on Arteta to get it out of them. And he's clearly been given some money.
Yeah.
I think if we go
use that money wisely, if you're going to get it, if you use it wisely.
If we go another season of getting battered in midfield and Saliba has a good loan spell at Marseille, Arsenal fans will have every right to say, thank you for Ben White, we love him, great, but we needed a Basuma or a Locatelli, well, clearly Locatelli's rejecting us, but you get my point. We needed a Basuma in midfield more than we needed a White at the back, because we thought we had... Turkish said it perfectly. He said, we've just made a signing in Ben White addressing something we thought we'd addressed 2 summers ago. And that's a really good point. So that's where Arsenal fans would have the right to be frustrated.
And then you look on it, like you mentioned it earlier on, and you look at like the keeping Granit Xhaka. Would Man City have done that?
Yeah, no.
Would you know, Chelsea? They wouldn't, would they?
No,
they'd be gone.
Yeah,
right. So, and you know, Arteta is making a lot of gambles here. He's thrown it in now with Granit Xhaka for another season, by the looks of it, right? If we see the same old, fans, it ain't like last season. We're in there now. We're in there. I was seeing those mistakes in front of me that I could only see on the TV last year.
Yeah.
And I was seeing them in front of me, and I could see them coming, because you can see the whole formation and you're thinking, what? You know, so it's a huge season for Mikel Arteta. He's taken a huge gamble in some of the signings he's made. Even Ben White is a big gamble. He's gone all in. £50 million on Ben White. That has to work. Has to.
Robbie, that takes me back to everything I was just saying before about the Bellerin error, and I said, that's it, I'll wash my hands of it. I'm
tired of
no
talking about
longer going to go in and criticise and slate players for making the same errors because I know they're coming. I know it's happening. If the manager can't, I can only blame him. Now I can only say, if you go to a restaurant and it gives you food poisoning, okay, shame on the restaurant. If you go back again, it gives you food poisoning again. At what point do you start saying, I want to stop going to that restaurant? Do you get what I'm saying? Yes, it's the restaurant's fault for giving you food poisoning, but maybe don't go there.
Yeah, very
like,
true.
That's kind of the way I'm feeling a little bit now.
Yeah.
Good players who, in what they're being asked to do, are not at it. So yeah.
Last couple comments here. Shreshev says, unfortunately, also have an aura of acceptance. Bellerin, Ozil, and now Aubameyang just did what they want. Fashion, Fortnite. We need no more BS attitude at Arsenal. So he's pretty strong on that. Yeah. And Wayne Sage says, time Arsenal to start doing what Fergie did well. Buy Premier League players in their prime or youth from other Premier League teams instead of buying them what left like Welbeck.
Sorry, a comment from Gunning You Down says Restaurant FC.
And Shane Brown says we need Basuma, Martinez, Navas to compete. No right back. The goalkeeping situation. Maybe we'll talk about that maybe on tomorrow. I'm one day on Transfer Daily this week. I'm gonna have to do like a special where we discuss the players that are gonna get sold because there's a lot of players. And SHH says sold our best goal. He says number 1 sold our best goalkeeper. Number 2 wants to get rid of Willock now. Number 3 sends Guendouzi, Torreira and Saliba on loan. 4 keeps Xhaka, El Neni, Holding, Bert Leno. 5 signed Willian Jovino, he calls him. And 6 wants to buy Tammy Abraham. He says Arteta out. So he's not feeling Mikel Arteta. Big season for Mikel Arteta. He can turn the fans around.
Yeah.
Have a good transfer window. Get off to a great start. It's going to be tough with the season that we got, but it's a huge season for him.
Completely agree with that.
James?
Yeah, let's round it up. Just lastly, congratulations to Kiddo Taylor-Hart, who did sign the contract with Arsenal. And you know what? I want to big up Pierre-Emerick, who's clearly doing a good job with that academy, because the players that have come out, players committing their future to, I'm not sure what, but they're clearly hearing and seeing something that's making them want to, commit to Arsenal long term. So big up Pierre-Emerick, who's clearly doing a great
I want to
job
big
over
up, and I'm going to do I said the other day, I haven't got around to doing a video yet, and I'm going to do a video on it. I want to big up some of the scouts that go out there when it's pouring down with rain, midweek, Saturday, and spot these players. I'm going to be doing a feature on a scout known as Goldeneye at Arsenal, who spotted Emile Smith-Rowe.
Wow.
Right, he spotted Emile Smith-Rowe when Emile Smith-Rowe was rejected by Chelsea's development academy, and he went and got him for Arsenal. He also spotted players like Reece Nelson.
Wow.
And these guys, and there's other guys at Arsenal like him, they are the real guys that sometimes never get bigged up. And we're going to start bigging these guys up because, these guys are saving Arsenal a lot of money with the players that they're spotting. So, who spotted Saka?
No,
why is he never mentioned?
Yeah.
Who spotted Kido? Why is he not mentioned?
Yes.
You're mentioning Mertesacker. They've just come along and coached these guys.
True.
Somebody's got to find these guys. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who spotted him?
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah?
Very
Who
true.
spotted Eddie Nketiah, who again was another player that was at Chelsea.
No, I completely agree.
And rejected at Chelsea, and Arsenal moved in and got him. Which scout did that? Why do we never hear these scouts getting bigged up? They do a huge role. I see them when I'm on doing grassroots football. I see them out there, rain's falling. You see them watching players. And they have that golden eye where they can just spot that player and bring them in. So let's start bigging up those scouts. We're going to do a feature on that. Look out for that coming up very soon.
Oh, amazing.
James, thank you, mate. Welcome back.
That's good to be back.
Unfortunately, we don't have the Italia weather.
Oh, that's all right. To be fair, the weather was all that.
I bet you was loving it, driving around in your drop-top Ferrari on the streets of Milan.
None of that's true. Please don't let that be a thing.
Going into Louis Vuitton.
Just
eating some ice cream.
I did eat ice cream.
Lasagna.
Actually. Yeah, I can. Can you tell? Yeah, I did. I was eating a bit of ice cream.
Well, I'm telling you, by the way, just before we go, the run you're doing.
Oh,
When is that?
it got delayed.
Has it got delayed?
Yeah, because we want to sort of. We felt we. Basically, I'm doing a half marathon. I'm going to be raising money for cancer research.
Oh, brilliant.
But that's been delayed. But we are doing that. Yeah.
What do you mean delayed?
As in I have delayed.
The race got delayed.
No, I have delayed doing it.
What do you mean you delayed doing it?
It's actually a long story, Robbie.
Right, all right, we got a little bit extra
we don't
time.
have a bit.
So add on a little extra time. So how's this gone?
It ended up ultimately clashing. So there's a few in a couple of months.
Clashing with what?
Other things.
A holiday?
No, it wasn't a holiday.
It clashed with the holiday, didn't
Kind
it?
of clashed a little bit.
Oh, that's
No, that's actually not.
lovely that you know what I mean.
That's actually not the story.
You went out of your way, you know what I mean. So but you are going to be doing it again.
Okay, should I give you the real reason? It's basically.
You don't have to go deep, no.
Well.
But when you're going to be doing it again?
On a serious note, we felt we left it too. We could have raised quite a bit of money, but we felt we left it too late. And obviously, we said that we're going to plug the link on this platform, and we're going to sort of share it around. Obviously, I've got some really lovely AFTV fans and Arsenal fans who follow me on Twitter. And it got a bit too close to call. I was actually training. I was doing all right.
Yeah, I remember. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I was. And it kind of got to the point where we just thought we could do so much more with this. So we decided to push it back. And then that's when I realised, I could go to Italy. So it came after.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
There you go.
Speak to your cousins about Martinez anyway, right?
Yeah, I will,
But James, thank you very much. Thanks
Thank
to
you.
everybody who's been tuned in today. A massive amount of people watching. We'll be back tomorrow. We've got Chris Hudson as a guest on this week as well. So look out for that. He's going to be on guest on one of the news dailies this week. Looking forward to having him on. And big up to the whole team. Big up to Josh there on the ones and twos. Laurie out, right? Big up. And we will be back tomorrow. I'll be back in the morning with Transfer Daily. So make sure you check out today's Transfer Daily, by the way. I was at the Emirates doing it. So make sure you check that out. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.